So by now, I'm sure you've seen the videos of offense being absolutely juiced in NBA 2K26. Faster movement and animations overall, sharp changes and at times unnatural changes in direction. I bet you're wondering, where is the defense and will I be able to keep up? Or is this going to be a situation where I just hope the person I'm guarding misses and pray for the best? So in this video, I'll try to answer that question by taking a look at 2K's vision for defense and the tech that is powering it. So first, in this possession, you're able to see the great footwork from Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, and the collision and body up system that's governing the defense. You also seen there maybe an improved pick dodger mechanic. As you can see here as well, we don't get too caught up in the screen. We didn't contest properly, but that shows you what 2K thinks should be what their defense looks like. As you can see here, once again, that movement that is governed by the motion engine. And when combined with the body up and collision system, that movement will lead to natural cutoffs that didn't rely on a mechanic, for example in 2K25, where you had to use a move that felt unnatural and unresponsive. Responsive movement governed by the movement tech, which reduces sliding, improves foot planting, and if you're playing a 5v5 game mode as Franz Wagner slips past Donovan Mitchell here, you're also seeing the improved help defense at work to give you accurate rotations, and as the CPU offense just resets and settles into a pick and roll, we're able to fight through that screen. Now this is a bad contest, but overall this is what 2K thinks defense should look like, and it's all thanks to upgraded systems for 2K26. So in 2K25, unless you had on-ball menace at a high level or immovable enforcer, what will usually happen is that guys with lightning launch or strong handle can just simply go past by you like you're not even there, even though you're in prime position, and finish easily depending on the badges and animations that you have. One way for low perimeter defense and badge defenders to cut off their defenders is the cutoff mechanic, which was not very good. In fact, it put you in an unresponsive animation as you see Buddy Hield slide away right there. The good news for 2K26 is the improved motion. The revamped body up and collision system work well in tandem together, that you don't have to rely on that cutoff mechanic, which was now removed in 2K26. I spoke to Mike Wang briefly about this, and he said that the cutoff tech is now part of the motion engine. And just take a look in real-time speed here, how Fred VanVleet moves around. It's showing you a responsive lateral movement that, if you look closely, can look unnatural. But the foot planting technology and lower pose matching is giving you the illusion that his feet is firmly planted. But as you can see, the quick changes in direction and then leading into those body up shows you how 2K26 is also juicing defense in terms of lateral movement. So not only is it that we're getting juiced offensive movement, but we're getting improved responsiveness without sacrificing that realism in 2K26, thanks to the lower post matching, the motion engine, and the body up and collision system. Again, in real time, just look at how fast Fred VanVleet is able to move laterally and initiate those bumps with Steph Curry. Another clip right here, watch as how Steph plants his feet at the wing 3-point line and then changes direction immediately to initiate a body up against D'Lo. So watch as Steph plants his foot by the 3-point line and then moves laterally to respond very quickly to that defensive motion and create enough of an interruption to get a nice bump steal. Once again, Steph will plant his left foot here, push off of it, and then get into position to give D'Lo a defensive ride animation, a bump, and then a steal. So what you're seeing is good lateral movement right there, which in combination with the body up system forces pickups off the ball or forces the defender to at least kick the ball out or else lose all their adrenaline. And the improved contest system in theory should lead to better contests. So contests I found are more powerful in 2K26. Just raising your hands up, for example, will give you at least a 20% contest so long as you have the right wingspan and maybe the perimeter defense and badges needed. But overall, movement on defense also feels responsive. Of course, it still requires the skill and knowledge of when to hold which triggers and when to release the triggers to initiate those cutoffs. But as you can see right here, no player is immune from being stopped Even though your defender is not necessarily known to be a lockdown defender, something that's very different from 2K25 where it had to rely on your immovable enforcer and your on-ball menace. As you can see right here, even with what is seemingly a strength disadvantage, as long as you have the speed and agility to cut your matchup off, it's gonna be fine. But always know that the initial bump is only the beginning. If you place yourself out of position or you're put out of position as a result of the bump, it can lead to a lot of missed defensive assignments as a result. See right here, a stop lane defense after I initiate that bump. But then I realized 2K said that they also wanted the freedom of movement even though there's increased physicality and an improved collision system. Where I find the defense to be a bit tricky is there are now some sharp changes in direction as a result of, the enhanced motion from dribble styles. So this is the AI actually doing it to me. So the AI is cheesing me right here. And as you can see, there was no response for this. So I'm not sure if this is a feature or a bug or something that 2K just said, we're gonna live with it, but I'm just flagging it right now. These are very tough to guard. And if you're able to do this, this is gonna be a very scary year. Another area also where 2K improved is the improved interior defense and collision system. This is something I need to look into more closely. What I wanted to look at in this clip right here is how Kyrie goes from moving laterally to moving backwards. So this is without the motion tech and lower pose matching. Kyrie is just sucked into a layup animation, and as a result, that is an open layup. Similar thing here, Kyrie hands Steph Curry off to Klay as the help defender, and because of how physical finisher was programmed in 2K25, once again leads to a wide open layup. What I'm seeing in 2K26 is an improved connectedness where I can't just blow past by my defender just by doing my right stick up method with physical finisher. Now, physical finisher is still a good badge, but what you're seeing in 2K26 is now there is an improved collision system even for interior defense contests. Even with a non-interior defender like Mike Conley right here, that's enough defense to sort of throw me off with that layup. But also there's more ground to cover on defense. There was a lot that I didn't get to specifically on defense, but one thing I noticed, of course, is that if you are a full court press type defender, you'll want to make sure that you have the right badges for that. Also, a good thing for defense in 2K26 is that the ball feels more tangible. As you can see right here, getting those bump steals. I will say that on-ball steals will require good timing on your part. The most amount of steals I've gotten in the build for Community Day was a lot of good positioning, good bumps, and then timing the steal button correctly. If you just reach willy-nilly by pressing steal, you will be put out of position if you make a bad gamble with, I think, a larger recovery window in 2K26 compared to 2K25. So you're also seeing glimpses here of double teams at work as well as help defenses. I will say that help defense, when it is singing, you can notice it in possessions when it's good, and even more so when it's bad because of the way the computer can now take advantage of a lot of drive and kick motions. If you do not clock in your settings and just allow your corners to drop or a lot of help defenses to drop, you're gonna be in for a long night if you are a 5v5 user. As you can see right here, these are things that I'm very mixed on for the game. The help defense probably the most. I can't wait to see the final build of the game to see if any of this is improved. But overall, I think the technology that's powering the improved defense is pretty good. Again, this is me playing against the AI, where I think it could get difficult, as I mentioned earlier on, is when people really understand the cancel tech and the quick changes in direction. Will defense be able to keep up? So far, I think at the initial stages will be a good way for us to see whether defense will hold up overall, because I think that's one of the main things that will make or break 2K26, whether they're able to maintain that balance by making sure that defense is also equally as juiced as offense. So I think the technology that's helping defense, that motion tech, lower pose matching, the improved body ups and collisions, are definitely helping defense. Now, whether this holds up by the end of the year when people start to learn the game, we'll have to wait and see and find out for sure.